You're listening to Historical Perspectives with Mr. Malt. Learn about life by looking at our history. Teachers, for more information about historical perspectives, search Mr. Malt's Marketplace on Teachers Pay Teachers or at mrmaltmarketplace.com. Happy learning!
The Courthouse at Willow Bend. Judge Amara Sol worked in a courthouse that smelled of lemon cleaner and old books. The building sat on a hill above Willow Bend, and its clock kept steady time. To most people, the judicial branch meant robes and benches and rules. To Amara, it meant keeping things fair by listening to people's stories. One autumn morning, a messenger brought a letter. Two neighbors were fighting over the river that ran through town. The town council wanted the judge to decide before winter. On paper, it was a small case, but Amara felt it mattered to the whole town. On the day of the hearing, the courtroom was full. Farmers and shopkeepers and children and an old woman whose hum filled the seats. The two neighbors, Hector, who kept bees by the northern bank, and Lila, who tended an orchard on the southern bend, sat at the front. Both cared for the river and both wanted it for their own. Amara began by asking, "What does the river mean to you?" People told stories about lanterns on the water and floods that came sometimes and children playing at the bank. They explained how the river was part of their lives. The lawyers talked about property lines and rights, and maps were pinned to the board. These things mattered. But Amara also noticed how Hector and Lila had helped each other before. Hector fixed Lila's fence after a storm. Lila cared for Hector's wife when she was sick. Their lives were connected. Instead of giving the river to one person, Amara suggested a different solution: shared care. The court would recognize both families' ties and set up a plan for them to manage the river together. The order created a small community council to meet each season, rules for using water during dry months, and steps for solving future problems. Hector and Lila looked at each other. Hector stood and gave Lila a wooden stake he had carved to measure water depth. She accepted and said, "Let's keep it for those who come after us." Everyone in the courtroom felt relief. After the decision, the town followed the plan. Neighbors met to clear debris, plant willow trees, and teach children how to watch the river. The willows helped hold the soil, and the water recovered faster than people expected. A year later, visitors were told of the court case's plan. The story spread as an example. Good law listens, finds what people share, and builds ways for them to keep promises. Judge Amara stayed on the bench for many years. In her office, she kept a photo of the river in drought and flood as a reminder. Justice should bend like water, guided by law, shaped by people's needs, and always aiming for balance.
Thanks for listening to this Historical Perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe. Also, search for Historical Perspectives on Teachers Pay Teachers to learn more about other topics, such as the Golden Gate Bridge, Henry Ford, schools in the early 1900s, and so much more. Happy learning!